Buhari lacks power to release Nnamdi Kanu, Festus Keyamo. Welcome to the news, and thank you for tuning in to listen. Festus Keyamo, the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, has said President Muhammadu Buhari lacks the power to release Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, who is currently facing treason charges at the Federal High Court, Abuja. Mr. Keyamo, who spoke with Daily Independent newspaper, said since the matter is already in court, ordering Kanu's release will amount to interfering in the judicial process by the president. He said it is illogical how Nigerians who are canvassing independence for the judiciary will be calling on the president to interfere in a case already in court. The president has no power to release him. Is he and the judiciary? On the one hand, people say there should be independence of the judiciary. On the other hand, they are saying the president should intervene in the judicial process. So what do Nigerians want? On the other hand, when there is a small indication that the executive is interfering in judicial matters, the whole country will go up in flames, because at that point, they will feel that because of their political interest, the president is trying to intervene and promote one political interest over another. Now, being a respecter for the rule of law, the president has allowed the judicial process to go on, and yet people are still complaining and going to him to interfere. I do not understand. There is a matter in court. You can tell the president to go. You cannot tell the president to go and intervene in the judicial process. One very crucial question I want to ask is that these same people who are pushing for the truncation of the judicial process, can they also do well to lead a delegation or to apologize to members of families of those people who have been killed? Can they talk to them and appeal to them too? Families have been bereaved. People are dead, and those are Nigerian people too, that the president also presides over. Just for the sake of equity, can they just issue a statement apologizing to all those who have been killed as a result of utterances by some of these people? I have not heard them apologize or say something of empathy to these people. Before the gentleman was brought to court, when mayhem was everywhere, I expected the delegation too to have gone to Mr. President to condemn what was happening and then apologize and say we condemn what is happening and talk to your son to desist openly. I did not see such thing. Why did you keep quiet all this while and only came to the president when the young man was arrested? If my son steals in the school now and they called me to the school to say your son has committed this act, I will first beat my son in the presence of everybody to show that I am not in support of what he did. I did not see them do that, he said. News Direct recalls that some Igbo leaders led by First Republic former Aviation Minister Chief Mbazulike Amechi had visited President Buhari at Aso Villa, where they requested the president to release Kanu, who was intercepted in Kenya in June. The truth of the matter is, yes, people are calling for the separation of powers to be present and eminent in the judiciary. Not just in the judiciary, in the free arms of government. And people are, yes, these people went to. But I want to say this. You don't liken the case of your son is stealing. This is not a case of stealing. This is a case of me exercising my fundamental human right. Everyone is entitled to opinion. Yes. I repeat, everyone is entitled to his opinion. I repeat, everyone is entitled to his opinion. Now, as a democratic government, if you feel somebody is towing a path that is not good, what do? You call the person and tell the person this and this and this. You would try to correct the fault now. Maybe somebody is spreading information that is not. What do? As a democratic government, won't you rather come out and say, no, this is not what happened? In fact, this is what happened and let's discuss it. Wouldn't it be? When initially this man, okay, and of course, according to history, this particular man was under, he was on negotiation in 2017. And all of a sudden his house was raided. Just like that. What are you saying? Please, we should like to get our record straight and not be beclouded with sentiments of what we want to get politically. To be sincere, this man's only issue is, you know, when they say everybody is entitled to opinion, You see somebody now, somebody maybe knocked down somebody on the road, an accident. You see people blaming the driver, and you see some people blaming the person who was knocked down. There's an opinion. They're entitled, as well as, yes, it infuriates and, you're entitled to it. You cannot take it away from them. People will always say how they feel or how they see things. And of course, it is only somebody who is not flexible, who is very strict now, that will say, okay, everyone should have one opinion. It cannot be like that. Everyone cannot have the same opinion. So coming out now to say, oh, you are likening it to a situation where your child steals, that one is a different scenario. Your child stole, and it is against Nigerian constitution to steal. This one, my child exercises his human rights. Let's say, for example, now my child, okay, was in class, and his teacher asks him to remove his clothes in the presence of others. And he tells the teacher, no, that Mama, my mom said that I should not remove. And moreover, I'm not comfortable to take off my clothes. And for that reason, maybe because he's flogged because of obedience. When I come to the school, the first thing I will do is, he has the right to, this is his body. You want him to show he said he's not comfortable with. Am I making sense? I'm making sense, right? You don't say these are two different scenarios. Saying, okay, you're using an example where your child stole. Your child stole, and it is against the constitution to steal. But it is not against the constitution to exercise the human rights. People are entitled to the opinion, so they should be allowed to. People are entitled to peaceful protest, so they should be allowed to. This government thinks that coming out to call on these people or being in a state of communication, having an open flow of communication, is weakness. But it is not. This is the democratic system, of crying out loud. You want people to understand. What do? You talk. You don't talk at them. You call them and talk to them. Yes, you don't coerce them. You make them understand. It is done by what they call negotiation, dialogue. That is what it is done through. So you don't sit down and say, oh, no. First of all, yes, people want the separation of powers. But in this case, why these people even came out now, it is because that it was rumored, and of course I believe it is true, that this man is being dished out inhuman treatments. First of all, he's not allowed to see the sun for 23 hours. He's only allowed to come out to see the sun for 1 hour per day. And he's limited to speak to anyone. Anyone who speaks to him is given extreme punishment. And you're here saying, so the thing is, to avoid wahala, let us go and open the dialogue that the government does not want to open. That is what these Igbo leaders did. Nothing more. So that it will not be that we were always making noise and we did not stretch forth our hands for dialogue. That is what they will say. On this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in and listen. Until I come your way next time. Enjoy the rest of the day.